From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning on Mornings LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In today's recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon, a done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people. Single biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this country. Massive payout that dwarfs the prior stimulus packages. All of the latest in the second half of this video. Then we cut to the vote with the recon heading to a vote, starting a vote within just hours. Whoa, what happened? I'll have all the breaking news for you in the third part of this video. It's very exciting. Here we go. And then we turn to fifth stimulus, which is just days away. We're going to start with the incredible lifting up of your benefits if you're on SSI and VA benefits and SSDI. And then we turn to the big money across the board. As one viewer got $32,000, I said, go back and get more money. And he did. And within just a few days, he got $19,000 additional, bringing him to $50,000. I'll show you how you get this big money as well. It's a big morning with a lot of breaking news happening just minutes ago. And this is Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? I hope you're having a beautiful morning across the board. Thank you for joining me on Mornings LALATE. You know, if you stayed with me all weekend long, thank you. Because Saturday and Sunday was two of our biggest watched weekend days ever in the history of this channel. And I told you to stay with me because there was going to be a lot of breaking news about what's happening and it would be hard to catch up on Monday. Well, that's what's happened, and yet there's still more happening minutes ago. But first, how are you? How's your morning going? Hope you're having a beautiful day, and I hope you're having great weather. It is gorgeous here. Gorgeous. It was actually so cold this morning you had to wear a jacket in Southern California. It was in the mid-50s, low 50s this morning, in the 70s today along the coast. How's the weather where you are? Jump on the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, we're going to go over those monthly stimulus checks and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. And then we got to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you. Checks that you can get $5, $10, $15, $20,000 from this fourth stimulus package. It's incredible, great news. Then we cut to the recon, and it's starting a voting. The voting on the recon is starting within just hours. I have the details and why things are speeding up, and will they slow down or will they continue to speed up? It's coming up in the third part of this video. Then we turn to fifth stimulus, which is just days away, as we go over the raising of your benefits of SSI and SSDI happening in early September. And then we cut to the big money as this surprising detail happens and we get shocked. One viewer, Mark, got $32,000 from this channel. I told him go back and get more, and he got this, $50,000. $25,000 for rent, $6,500 for utilities, and $19,000. I'll go over how this can happen to you. And this is LALATE, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week, financial news channel in America, live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. And this weekend was an example of how this channel is nowhere else duplicated on the globe. This weekend, there were major developing details across the board about what was happening, and not a single person in print media, broadcast media, or internet was recording or delivering news 24/7. In fact, they weren't even delivering one piece of news on the subject matter over the weekend. And everything was changing. You are up to date because of this channel, so subscribe. 400,000 subscribers a YouTube record for a reason. Next stop, 1 million. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Thank you for the nearly 200 new Purple Hawks daily. Incredible growth because this is where all the news is happening. Nowhere else except here. Let's cut to those monthly stimulus checks starting right now. House versus Senate, Senate versus House. Monthly stimulus check, just different with the number of checks. July to December versus a longer payout. Let's go over House. Pandemic plus 1 year monthly stimulus check. Then Senate to July to December. Let's go over the payout. House $1,000 after the first month. Then Senate monthly unknown. But word on the street is the Senate would pay you this. Deliciousness, $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. Well, the pandemic is far from over with Delta, Delta Plus, and Lambda now at issue. And that means that House bill would pay more than 1 year of checks, which would be more than 12 checks. And that House bill would pay more than $13,000. So compare that to this and the Senate. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuned in from and how the weather is this beautiful Monday morning. Who gets that forced stimulus check? You do. Single individuals, 75,000 or less. Democrats represent. You're getting a forced stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 or less. Democrats represent. You're getting a forced stimulus check. Double it. Family of four, Democrats represent. You're getting a forced stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, Democrats represent. You're getting a forced stimulus check. It's not income. It's not taxable. Forced stimulus check would be the same amount for adults and everyone else, including adult dependents. Democrats represent. And the forced stimulus check is not a waivable check. I continue to forget. And I was on the beach recording live 2 weeks ago, and a viewer said, "Hey, Elliot, is that the check behind you?" I said, "Where? Where?" "Oh, there he is." And the viewer said, "Wave at the check." I said, "Really?" "Yeah, wave at the check, Elliot. Come on, do it, do it." So I did. I said, "Hi, check. How are you? It's Elliot. I'm not wearing my purple, but you recognize me. How are you?" Didn't wave back. Did not wave back. Such a rude check. The viewer said, "Not a rude check, just not a waivable check. I seen your shows." Yeah, I got set up. And there you go. In the second half of this video, we'll be turning to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you. You should be celebrating. Bernie Sanders wants you to be celebrating. We're going to celebrate together. It's an enormous sum of checks coming to the American people. I'll go over those checks in the second half of this video. Then we cut to the voting. The recon is going into a voting I love that, going to a voting in just a matter of hours. I'll tell you what happened over the weekend, what happened today, what the Republicans are saying, what the Republicans said this morning. It's all breaking news. You're hearing for the first time on Mornings LA. And then within days, we turn to fifth stimulus as it starts in September. Raising up your benefits, it's coming up later in this video. But first, let's get some money. Get a pen and paper ready, because I'm going to get you some rent, utilities, homeowners assistance, and homeowners utilities. About 4 weeks ago, I said I can get you 4 to 6 months of rent, about $5,000 for rent. I was wrong. I can't get you $5,000 for rent, but I can get you $27,000 for rent. As Elizabeth got $27,000 for rent from this channel, Mark $25,000, Nancy $24,000, Richard $22,000, Nisi $20,000. A viewer at noontime yesterday said he or she got $18,000. And then numbers keep on coming in. Pamela got $12,000 for rent. Carla got rent and utilities. Tiffany got $13,000 for rent and other items. Randy, $6,000 for rent and other items. Jennifer, $5,000 for rent and other items. And Cecilia got money for heat. Well, then when we were talking about utilities, I said I can get you $300 from utilities. Oh, I got viewers more than $300. I got them more than $3,000. I got them $7,000 for utilities. Incredible job, Nancy. There's Mark at $6,500 and Angela at $5,000. Then when we talk about SNAP money for food, I said $5,000 to $6,000 for food and SNAP. And you're ready for this one? Are you ready? Bam. Wow. Louis, $18,000 for SNAP. Incredible. Great job, Louis. John, $10,000 to $12,000 for SNAP. Nancy, $5,000 for SNAP. And then came the people who got multiple sums of items from this channel. Are you ready for their success story? Here you go. Ready? Bam. Whoa, $32,000 for Nancy, getting 3 items on this channel. Mark, $32,000 from 2 items on this channel. And Nisi, $23,000 from 3 items on this channel. Boy, but then an unusual occurrence. Mark had gotten 2 items from this channel for $32,000. And over a week of recordings, I said on camera to Mark, go get the SNAP. Why didn't you not get the SNAP? Get that 3rd item and bring it to $40,000. He did. After a week of recordings, he got the message and he went and got SNAP. The only difference is he didn't get $9,000 to bring himself to $40,000 on SNAP. To $40,000 across the board. He got $19,000 for SNAP, bringing his grand total to $50,000. Congratulations, Mark. And this, my friends, is LALATE. This is LA. This is what we've been doing since day one. In spring of last year, EIDL loans and EIDL grants were not coming out. So I singularly sat on camera and approved application after application and off camera $25 million of EIDL loans, saving people's employees' homes, their business homes, and also their workers' homes. At some point, I was doing $150,000 EIDL loans approved in a 24-hour window. It was incredible. Then in fall of 2020, second stimulus was not coming, so I stepped up and I got people $250,000 of rent. Family of 4 out of Boston, Tyrone, got $15,000 for rent from this channel, paid all their rent from December to February. And now we're doing it again. The only difference is you. I have never seen numbers like this in the history of the channel. But if you're watching this video right now and you've never gotten money and you just found this channel, get a pen and paper ready because today's your day. We're going to get some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and also homeowners utilities as well. You're going to reach out to different places with different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the next until they say yes. They have their own pots of money. And listen for the keywords because the viewers tell me it helps them get approved. Are you ready? You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. The keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or Mitch McConnell's fan club. Doesn't exist. And there you go. Congratulations to everyone who got rent and utilities, including Tim and Linda. If you got rent and utilities, post your success story in the live chat right now. Let's turn to SNAP. Incredible snooze. What is SNAP? SNAP is money for food. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. What is the eligibility? Easier than a stimulus check. Why would you not get it? And Louis got 18,000, Mark 19,000, John 10 to 12,000. How much does it pay? A family of 4 out of Boston gets upwards of $16,000 a year now. Wow, why so much money? Because it's 2 wonderful executive orders. One from Biden, one from Trump that raise your benefits up 15%. So go get it. You get SNAP by reaching out to Department of Agriculture. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom, and Gail got it as well. If you got SNAP, post in the live chat right now. And we're killing it. We are only 12 minutes of this video, and we've gotten $27,000 for rent, $19,000 to SNAP, $8,000 for utilities, and we're just getting started. The next pot of the money is the refund check coming back for your state due to overpayment of unemployment benefits and a computer error. It's landing direct deposit. How do you track it? Contact your state. Say, hi, state. Where does that check due to overpayment and a computer error? And when you track it on a computer, can you turn the computer on and plug in the keyboard? It just sort of helps. Congratulations to viewers who got this as well. One viewer got 3,000. Another viewer got 5,000. Let's get into that last pot of money. It's the refund check coming back from 2020 for that unemployment benefits. Margaret got it, Kyle got it, Michael got it. And guess what? It's a waivable check. Sorry, Mitch, I know you're going to be very upset to hear this. It's a waivable check. The latest wave is coming out this week. A previous wave started July 14th, direct deposit and mail checks July 16th. That average wave, that wave, the average check was $1,265. Deliciousness. Now, let's take a personal break for a second and let's go over something. If you're on the live chat and you've not posted your success stories for rent, utilities, food, or internet, whether it's $1 or $100, post it right now. Because when you do that, you help other people. The spirit of this channel is me helping you and you helping others. And when you help others, you really do a wonderful job at it. Jump in the live chat and post your success stories because you help people 3 different ways. Number 1, when you post your success story, you inspire other people to go get SNAP. They may never have heard of SNAP, and then when they see you getting SNAP, and they say, I'll go get it. Or utilities, they'll realize, wait a second, I got a utility bill, I got a gas bill, and I saw Nancy get gas paid, I'll go get gas. And then they'll say, I got a rent bill, I did not think of getting my rent paid. Number 2, we have viewers like Art Sullivan who got 3 items and Nisi who got 3 items. They inspired Nancy to get 3 items. And then you heard what I said about Mark. I told Mark to go get 3 items. So I inspired Mark to go get the 3rd item, bringing his total from 32,000 to 50,000. Then we get an update about the numbers. We realize the numbers are bigger and bolder than we ever thought. All right, let's cut back to those unemployment benefits. How much? Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You paid $5,000 of taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you're getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yes. Go to iris.gov and do a transcript search. 70% of the time will reveal the tax return you filed and the taxes you paid. It'll also reveal stuff you never wanted to know. Like when Mitch was on Star Search and had that blue teal outfit on. Did he get that painted on at Amazon here? And finally, it'll reveal the refund check you're getting. Can we top that? We can, as we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check update, starting right now. Deal done. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you in the fourth stimulus recon. Now, you just saw those big payouts that viewers got from third stimulus recon. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. Well, third stimulus recon was this big. Fourth stimulus recon is this big. First, second, and third stimuluses all had money for businesses. This one has zero for businesses, only for you. So imagine how much more money, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, $80,000 is in this fourth stimulus recon for you. It's deliciousness. And how did they do this? By taking the roads and bridges out of the recon after July 4th. It was not passable at the time. Put the roads and bridges into something called the bipartisan. That made both of them passable. The confirmation comes from a conservative publication. And the publication says the following: the higher the price tag was on the recon, the harder it was to pass. There you go, confirmation. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending and put it into the bipartisan, take out some of the spending from the recon and put in the bipartisan roads and bridges, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller, obviously. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. But the recon also made the bipartisan passable. And now, as you're going to see in the final 15 minutes of this video, the roads and bridges will be passed tonight, if not tomorrow morning, and the recon is going to be passed shortly thereafter. Wow, incredible, great news. How did they do this? By shrinking the recon, the progressives were then able to add more money back in there, bring it to a big, bold number that they wanted. $3.5 trillion. Congratulations. Representative Richie Torres, for example, wanted money in there for housing. He got it by getting a bigger recon. I need to have a larger recon, says Torres. You got it, Richie. $3.5 trillion. Congratulations. Representative Elon Omar says we have to have a recon that goes as far as we want it. You got it, Elon. $3.5 trillion. And the Progressive Caucus was meeting with the White House daily to ensure that the recon was big enough. They got it. $3.5 trillion. How did they do this? By protecting the recon, because the only thing in the recon is checks for you, progressive checks. And the president had told the progressives, protect my recon. Brian Schatz, Democrat Hawaii, and Jalapal both confirmed those statements. Schatz said the White House told him that the White House considers the progressive priorities in the recon their own priorities. Incredible, great news. So what is a recon? What are the language for it? How does it get voted and all those details? That in a second. But first, here's what you need to know, is that the president is becoming very aligned with the progressives in the last 7 days. A week ago today, the president ended the eviction moratorium and had ended the student loan debt repayment, so meaning you had to pay the back. We ended the week with the reverse. Why? Because of the progressives and the president with the progressives. Example, Representative Bush from St. Louis, 1st District of Missouri, heard on Monday, a week ago today, that the president was ending the eviction moratorium because of the courts. And she said, that's not fine. I'm not going to accept that. That's not law yet. That's not law yet. And guess what? She sat on Capitol Hill, had a nightly vigil, and pushed and pushed and pushed as a purple power person, and she got it done. Got the president to reverse his position 180 degrees, putting the eviction moratorium back in place. Same thing happened with Liz and the others with the student loan debt repayment freeze. So what is a recon? What is a bipartisan? Well, as I told you earlier in this video, over the weekend, there was major events happening with the voting of the bipartisan. You tuned in, you saw those details. Guess what? During that time, you know how many broadcast channels covered this? 0. You know how many print medias covered this? 1. And you know how many places on the internet you could watch a video about what the voting process happened over the weekend? 0, with the exception of me. So there was literally no universe to cover the subject matter. When broadcast media comes back into the studio on Monday through Friday, they sometimes not reoccurringly, cover the subject matter, and they do an atrocious job covering it. They use the words infrastructure to refer to $3.5 trillion, and they use the word recon to refer to roads and bridges. They literally butcher it. So let's go over the details. So when you hear it on air, because it will be wrong, you can remember, oh, that's not right. I remember now what it is. So let's go over the terminology. The words I use on the channel are simple: recon and bipartisan. But let's go over the other words. Recon is also called reconciliation, also called the budget bill. Price tag $3.5 trillion. People quoting an article about it are a Bernie or an AOC. Bipartisan is also called infrastructure, also called roads and bridges. People quoting an article about it are a Kristen Sinema, Ron Portman, Mitt Romney. Okay, that's all easy. So who passes a recon? This is obvious, but I need to go over it because we're right on the cups of it happening. A recon is voted and approved by Senate Democrats to start only. 0 Republicans will vote in favor of the recon. That's fine. We're going to have 50 of 50 Democratic senators all prove it with a tie-breaking vote from the vice president. Okay, who writes the recon? The recon is written by the subcommittees of the House. Under the Constitution, those subcommittees are delegated different subject matters. House Ways and Means is responsible for stimulus checks and unemployment benefits. When those subcommittees are done, 10 of 10, let's say it's 10 subcommittees and they write 10 pages, they send that all up to Shock. He combines it 100 pages and puts a big S on it. That is the Senate bill. And when that Senate bill is debuted, well, then we have a bill, but not a law. Later in this video, I'm going to go over why the bill will look nothing like the law. Why is that? Because those Senate Democrats will be modifying it extensively. That's great news for you. But first, as we sit here right now, we don't have a bill yet. And so until we have the bill, we don't have the provisions of it. There's nothing in the Constitution that requires them to show you what they're doing or what they're voting for or what they're voting against. Sort of like a pop singer who has an upcoming album, doesn't want to release the songs ahead of time because does not want Mitch singing them in the shower. Can we top that? We can. As Jalopal recently wrote Chuck a letter saying, Chuck called the vote on the recon. Well, guess what? We're calling the vote on the recon within hours. That's coming up in just a second on this video. It's exciting. That letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, part of the 100 plus, yes, 100, who recently wrote the president a letter saying we're putting monthly forced stimulus checks in that forced stimulus package. Wow. Can we top that? We can. As 7 House Ways and Means subcommittees members, oh, this one you just went over? Yeah, that same subcommittee recently wrote the president a letter saying we're putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. Boy, Purple Power, you got to keep these people their promise. Push, 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 Purple Power. And guess what? They're also saying they're giving you a fifth stimulus check next year. Can we top that? Yes. As the president went overseas 6 weeks ago for a ceremonial signature, but the real signature was days ago. It's the global minimum corporate tax rate minimum. It's a confusing thing, and the great news, it's not in the recon. First, it's easier to write the recon because this thing is not in there. Easier to call the vote on the recon, easier to vote on the recon, and easier to pass the recon because this confusing thing ain't in there. And can we top that? We can. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video where I go over the recon, when it starts voting, when it finishes voting on the Senate, when it starts voting in the House, how it goes voting in the House, what Nancy does, what Chuck does, what the president's doing, what Jalopal's doing. Then we go over the substantive details, why the recon is not going to be anything like the final law. I'll go over all that. It's coming up in the final 15 minutes with breaking news you're hearing for the first time on this morning's broadcast, happening minutes ago. But first, if you need help with rent, utilities, food, and internet, try to get it yourself. First, try yourself. If you can't find it yourself, then reach out to the volunteers. And where are they? They're in the description of this video. Go down the description, you'll see an emoji of a house. Click the link, it sends you to the community page, news.la.com/community. On the community page, the volunteers are separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Reach out to them, and I'll be back with you in 60 seconds with you as Mornings LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. home. LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and the excitement's brewing. And the coffee's brewing as the recon bill will be debuting within hours and the voting starting within hours. It's incredible, great news. We're seeing the finish line in front of us. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record for a reason. The most comprehensive coverage across the board. Thank you for tuning in this weekend where the coverage was changing by the minute. I told you as we get close to the finish line, the news cycle changes every few hours. So stay with me throughout the day. Can't miss a video because everything is changing by the minute. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Don't forget to subscribe and also become a member, Purple Hawk. And with that, let's go over what the president did not do after becoming president. That is raising your benefits up. He promised it on the campaign trail, did not deliver. Then during the transition papers, did not deliver. And since then, the Republicans and the Democrats have thought about the subject matter, and now the Democrats are taking care of it for you. What are they doing? They're putting this into the fifth stimulus package. The fifth stimulus package will raise your benefits up, SSI and SSDI VA benefits. This is September. It starts just within days from now. They started legislating this in September. Then they called for a vote around November. Then it would hit your bank account, presumably by November, with the benchmark in December, and then that benchmark for January next year. Let's go over all the details starting right now. First step, they'll raise your benefits up. Then they'll remove the asset limit. Then they'll apply an inflationary benchmark. They'll remove the income exclusion and remove the marriage penalty. Okay, who is this for? You. If If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries, your benefits will be raised up one big time. Next step, they'll apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation. When? In December. Where is inflation going? It's going to be transitory, says Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve. What does that word mean? It means a temporary spike. When? In December. Yes, right when they apply your benefits. It's great news. So how high is inflation going in December? About 5% is what I'm reporting. Now, yesterday on one of the afternoons LALATE show, I did almost 3 minutes of an economic analysis on where that inflation rate may go. It may actually go higher. But I just want to stay with that for now because of the breaking news of what's happened on Capitol Hill. So first, they'll raise your benefits up. Then they'll apply the benchmark. And if the benchmark is 5%, you'll step up another 5%. If the inflation rate is 2% the year after that, you'll be plus 2, plus 5%. It's great news. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have muddled. Did you just call this muddled? No, you can't have anything in your hand more than $3,000, even purple. Now you'll be able to have purple in your hand, but never anything muddled. And then they're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away, and you'll be able to do a pair dance like you're at Robin and Sandy's wedding. You'll no longer fear loss of benefits. If benefits were lost, they will be restored. And if you want to get married, you will be able to get married. And there you go. That's fifth stimulus. There will also be a fifth stimulus check. That will be next year. It will not overlap with fourth. Finally, if you're in the live chat and you see people that have a Purple Hawk and you do not have one, what's going on? You need to become a member. Join right now. It's underneath the video. Join as a member as a Purple Hawk. Why? Because I deliver to you daily a breakdown of all the big money that's available for you under this third stimulus and also what's slated for you under fourth and under fifth stimulus. Viewers have understood now how financial freedom works. In 2020, when this channel started, people were already talking about second stimulus, and they were dependent upon a check at the time. I said, who told these people to be dependent upon the arrival of a check? That's not financial freedom. You cannot be dependent on the outcome of one event. So in fall of 2020, when second stimulus was finally heating up, I said, yeah, you're going to get a $600 stimulus check, but don't be tracking a $600 stimulus check or be focused on it, because when it comes, you're going to spend it after a week. You're going to say, where's the next check? I said, focus on the big other sums of money that are in the second stimulus for you. And that's why Tyrone got $15,000, paid all his rent from December to March, giving him financial freedom of $15,000 off of his bills for rent. But when January came around, I launched the Purple Hawks, which describes people who pounce, hawk, hawk, before anyone else to get big sums of money. I said there's going to be a $1,400 stimulus check, sure, but don't be focused on a $1,400 stimulus check, because when it comes, you're going to spend it, and after 2 weeks, you're going to say, where's the next check? I said focus instead on the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,000 money right now, money not 5 days from now, checks in the third stimulus package. And Purple Hawks took notice. I said there's $20, $30, $40, $50,000 under the third stimulus package for you. You need to go get that and get that sum of money, because that will give you financial freedom. And they did. And now with forced stimulus, the same thing is happening. Let me explain what's going on. Is that the federal government recognizes you have maybe 10 bills at home. You have maybe rent, utilities, mortgage, homeowners utilities, internet, and then you got to fix the car. You got to fix the roof on the house, and then you got to buy some shoes for the kid. Well, the government cannot give you cash to fix the car and cannot give you cash always to fix the roof or put shoes on the kids. But the federal government loves giving you money for rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgage, medicine, benefits, eye, vision, dental. They love giving you that type of medical. And guess what? If you got 10 bills and the federal government will pay 8 of the bills, then you have financial freedom, because then you don't have to spend your money to pay for those 8 bills. The federal government is paying for those 8 bills. And then you have extra money sitting around to pay for the roof, the car, and the shoes. And that's how Purple Hawks have now flown. And with that, let's cut into the final 15 minutes of this video, starting right now with the recon. And the big celebratory news is that the recon is effectively almost done. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you under this forced stimulus recon. By reference point, how big is this recon? It's enormously bigger than anything we've ever seen on this channel, because the first, second, and third stimulus packages had big sums of money for corporations. In fact, prior stimulus packages, the 85% of it was just for corporations, and this amount was for you. This is all for you and nothing for corporations. So this is huge. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you. Bernie Sanders fought a generation to get you these checks, and he's celebrating. You should be celebrating as well. It's checks for all walks of life, all different types of people. And the recon has been effectively passed because the Democrat caucus has met twice in the last 2 weeks to agree upon the price tag and agree upon passing it. All they have to do is call the bill vote, and away we go. Now, we don't have the bill yet, but we have some of the provisions of what's in that recon, and it's all checks for you. All checks of different types. Here's some of the items: checks for free school meals for all, checks for tax breaks, checks for cheaper prescription medication, checks for immigration reform, checks for farming, checks for elections, checks for the digital divide, which is free internet, checks for greener issues, which is clean energy. And then we cut to our checks for our workers and checks for our seniors. Checks for workers, unions, checks for independent contractors, and then checks for my seniors, checks for lowering the eligibility age, checks for Medicare, checks for dental, checks for vision, and checks for hearing care. Wow. Fortunes and fortunes of checks. If you see people getting $20,000 to $50,000 of checks from third stimulus, which was this big, get ready for fourth stimulus, which is this big, and even bigger checks than ever before. Let's turn now to the bipartisan roads and bridges. The bipartisan bill was debuted on the Senate floor a week ago today. It underwent amendments Monday through Friday. By Friday afternoon, they said, I think we're ready to call the vote on the bill on Saturday. If you tuned in over the weekend, you are completely up to date with just about what's about to happen and be revealed within a second of this video. But for people who did not tune in, let me tell you what happened. What happened was they had the bill ready for a vote on Saturday. They didn't call for a vote. So then by Saturday evening, they said ready for a vote. They didn't call for a vote. Then by Sunday morning, we learned why the bill was not being voted on, the roads and bridges, because of one Republican from Tennessee. This morning, we learned more about what this guy did late last night after afternoon to LA, after evening to LA, taped, after Sirloin. This guy, and I'm going to bite my lip because I want to call him a name. This guy had the opportunity on Friday to do what all the other Republicans wanted to do, which was speed up the passage of the roads and bridges with just a bill vote on Saturday. He said, no, I'm not going to speed stuff up. I will just do it at the regular pace, but I'm not going to block it. They said, okay, you know what? It's just an extra day. But you really you should not have done that. You know what he did Sunday night? He came in with 13 darn amendments. One guy who was trying to slow us down. Chris and Sinema went after him and actually did something good finally. And she said, who are you? You slowed us all down and now you're doing 13 amendments? Well, guess what? Other Republicans went after him. Chuck Grassley, who has been in the Senate for more than a minute, he said, sir, you have wasted our time. We could have been done on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He said, we got nothing achieved on Saturday and Sunday and Friday because of you. You have wasted our time. So the Republicans are, yeah, they're very angry at this guy. So what did this guy cause everyone to do now? What this guy has caused everyone to do is you're going to have a vote-a-rama in the Senate for the roads and bridges that is only ceremonial because there's no more amendments left. There's literally no amendments left. A vote-a-rama is for amendments, and there's no amendments left. So they're going to sit there and twiddle their thumbs for 50 hours starting today. 50 hours will bring us into late tonight, if not early part of Tuesday morning. If they may have started it last night. So the press, the clocks are clicking, the clocks are ticking already, and the reports say that the vote-a-rama will end either Monday night or Tuesday morning, and that will be the passage of the roads and bridges in the Senate. That means that immediately thereafter, the recon starts the voting. The recon will start voting either tonight or tomorrow morning. And what you need to know, or tomorrow night, and what you need to know is that Chuck Schumer represents that the recon will start with the vote-a-rama right away. 50 hours of voting for the recon. Now, that is what Chuck Schumer is anticipating at the moment. The Republicans can derail that and slow it down a little bit, and maybe we go more than 50 hours on the recon. But if Chuck Schumer has his way, the recon will go to a bill vote 50 hours after the roads and bridges is passed, which could be passed as early as Tuesday morning. And there you go. So now let's turn to first in time, second in time details. Chuck Schumer said the Senate was going to call the recon first for a vote. They did not. But that's fine because guess what? The only thing that's important for you is the House and the president doing things in certain orders. Let's go over the details. First, the president's made emphatically clear that he will not sign the roads and bridges if that's the only thing that lands on his desk in the White House. You have to send him both the roads and bridges and the recon passed. The bipartisan, if that's the only thing that comes to me, this is the president talking, then and that's the only thing that comes to me, I'm not signing it. They have to come to me in tandem, roads and bridges and recon. Great news there. He says again, bipartisan, I'm not just signing the bipartisan and forgetting about the recon. I propose a significant other piece of legislation, the recon, and they're both equally important. All right, that's the president. Nancy knows the power of the media. And so when she thinks a quote is going to go viral, she uses even stronger language. What is Nancy's position and not changing position? Her position is the following, that if you only send her the roads and bridges to the House, it's going in the wastebasket. Now, this is something you're only going to hear on this channel right now. Nancy has the ability to be even more aggressive than that. How? Legislation we're currently talking about in the Senate is because the Senate is still in session. The House is in recess, but guess what? If Nancy has only sent roads and bridges to the House, she doesn't have to bring them back into session. Yeah, it's sort of obvious. She doesn't have to bring them back into session. If you don't send her the right thing, she's not going to bring people back to work. No, say you sent me the wrong thing. We're not coming back in there. Sorry. Now, what she has said is the following. You have to send Nancy the roads and bridges and the recon together. Otherwise, she is throwing the roads and bridges in the wastebasket. pause. I saw some comments during the commercial break where people were saying, well, I want my recon first. I want my recon first. Understand that is not using the information from the videos correctly. The president just said, you can't just send him recon. So there's not like some way that you can jump in line ahead of roads and bridges and get your money before the roads and bridges a month earlier. The president said he's not doing that. So the people are sort of in this sort of mindset that they want their money done before the roads and bridges. The president's not doing that. He says both of the things have to land on the test at the same time. All right, so Nancy has your protection, and she ran that incredibly aggressive quote, which is still going viral to this very day. This is what Nancy said. As I said, there won't be a bipartisan unless we have a recon, plain and simple. In fact, I use the word ain't. There ain't going to be a bipartisan unless we have a recon passed by the United States Senate first. There you go. And then Jalapal gives us confirmation as well that the House Democrats will not vote in favor of the roads and bridges if that's all they have. We did a poll of our members, and the overwhelming majority said we're not going to vote on the bipartisan without the recon. All right, so that's all easy breezy. So now let's go back to timeline for your recon. Then we'll go over substance for your recon. All right, first timeline. So we have the roads and bridges coming to the finish line in the going to the final votorama finality in the and being done within 50 hours. So we could see your recon start as early as Tuesday, maybe Tuesday evening. You know, if they're working at 3 a.m. on Tuesday morning on the roads and bridges, they may be tired, so they may want to, take off a half a day. Maybe they come back on Wednesday. But presumably as early as Tuesday, the votorama on the recon will start. Now, if Chuck gets something unexpected, it could go a little bit slower. The votorama is a time in which amendments are opposed by both Democrats and also Republicans. Once the recon is then passed by the Senate, then the recon and the bipartisan are sent to the House. At that point, the House makes its changes, and if the House makes changes, it goes back to the Senate one more time, and then the president. All right, let's go over the issue of recess. So the Senate is still in session. It's one of the longest Senate sessions over a decade. They've been working 7 days a week, 16-hour days, and they are very tired. That's why Grassley had that quote today. He said, how dare you waste my time? I don't have Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays just come in and just waste time. Sir, you took up my time for no reason. So they are really they don't have a lot of energy under their feet, which is great for us. So even though the Republicans will try to derail the recon. Second, the House is not in session, but as soon as the recon is passed to the Senate, Nancy just issues a proclamation or Steny Hoyer and orders everyone back into session within 24 hours, and they start voting. That's very easy. All right, now let's go over the substantive part, and this is what's very, very critical for you. The recon will debut on the Senate side in bill format within potentially the next 48 hours. When it debuts, it will not resemble what the final law will be. Why? Because in this case, the recon has been written in those subcommittees in the House by Democrats over the last few weeks, and those subcommittees are just a few people. And the Democrats not on those subcommittees have said, I'm modifying the language. I've not had my hands on it. We have 50 Democratic senators, and we have over 100 House Democrats who have said, I've not had my hands on the recon. I'm going to modify it. That's great news for you. Step one will be for the Senate to modify the recon during the votorama, Senate Democrats. Then it goes over to the House, and the House is all progressives. The progressives really will modify stuff if there's something not in there that is written correctly. And so they both have your back. Finally, let's go back to the message of Representative Bush for St. Louis. She treated the eviction moratorium a week ago today like how we should treat the recon. She saw the announcement from the President of the United States, his official announcement, I'm not doing eviction moratorium. It's expiring. I don't think it's going to hold up in the courts. She did not sit back and say, that's law. She said it's not law yet in her back of her mind. And like a purple power, she pushed. She had sit-ins on Capitol Hill for 2 nights saying, you can't do this. you have to extend the eviction moratorium. And at the same time, Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer and Bernie were pushing to freeze student loan debt repayment back, so you wouldn't have to pay the student loan debt, it would be frozen. Two groups of progressives pushing the president to change course immediately, and they both got their way. That's what you have to do when you see that recon debut. It's not law yet. And when you see it, you got to push Purple Power to make sure it has everything the way you want it to be in there as well. Meantime, they still do have that amendment about crypto at Battleground in the Roads and Bridges. I'll be detailing that amendment about crypto in the morning's crypto show starting right now in just 2 minutes after this video ends. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. I'll be back with you at noontime as well. There's going to be a lot of breaking news across the board today on this channel. You can't miss a single recording because the news cycle is changing every few minutes. Like the video, 2,000 to 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a Purple Hawk so you can get all these big sums of money and learn about financial freedom and get these 10s and 15, 20 and 30, 40, $50,000 as well. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning. The toast is toast and the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here, and I'll next be back with Mornings Crypto.